Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent of TrentTokens.com, and I'm a big fan of the game called True Dungeon and an avid collector of tokens. In today's episode, we're going to talk to the creator of True Dungeon, Jeff Martin. We're going to discuss how SkullCon went, which recently finished, the change to the B Series, V7B, Gen Con, Gamehole Con, all kinds of stuff, and of course, we'll take questions from the audience. Lots of things to discuss. But before we introduce Jeff, I need to do the YouTube thing. Make sure everyone clicks subscribe and like and share with your friends and enemies and all that other algorithm stuff. It will be good to get the word out about the show and hopefully spread the love of True Dungeon. So without further ado, speaking of that, let's introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Martin. Hello, Jeff.
How's it going, everybody? I'm hitting the dew.
No drinking on the show. It's a family show. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, I like to say every day I wake up is a good day. So I'm doing quite well.
Very good. Yeah,
So now,
I hope you and everybody's having a great holiday weekend.
oh, I know that's right. It is a holiday weekend. My wife already cooked ribs for me, so I'm so full. It's enough for an army. So please, everyone, come over and have some ribs.
I'll be there.
Okay. Over your left shoulder, what is that skull I'm looking at? And is that a duck on top of it?
I don't know anything about a duck, but yeah, there's a skull there. Yep.
Oh, it looks like a duck. I can't
Yeah,
quite
it's a
see.
duck. It's a little pink duck. Oop.
Up.
Pink.
You know you're not supposed to touch ducks in the dungeon, so please, nobody.
Good thing this isn't a dungeon.
Speaking of that, so let's say hello to people in the chat. Hello, Brian. Hello, David. And Dave says, whoa, I'm actually here at the start for once. Dave, welcome to the start for once. And David, my buddy David, says, hello, Trent. Hello, David. Everybody is my buddies. Brian says, yes, ribs smoked, question mark. They weren't smoked. So no, not smoked, but amazingly barbecued and a little sweet and a little spicy.
Those are really hard to get lit, the smoke.
David says, it's a bit of a drive for me. Otherwise, I would be there for ribs. Yes. You're all welcome. If you can get here, I guess before the nightfall, I'll share some ribs with you. And Gilstrife says, a little late, but here now. Hello, Gilstrife. And Mr. Timothy I says, so I back to you. We have tons of things to discuss today. So I want to dive right in and start discussing the things. The first thing is that SkullCon was a couple of weeks ago and was awesome. So,
yay for SkullCon.
Oh, man. How about you? Did you have fun at SkullCon, Jeff?
I had a blast. It was great seeing everybody. It was great putting on a show and live again. And I didn't get to go to Gamehole Con, so it's my first one since PAX West. So it was good.
Wow.
It was great. Yep, and it was nice running, working in Epilogue and getting that job to just see everybody, meet everybody. It was cool.
Yeah, I at the last minute was able to make it to SkullCon, and I'm very happy that I did. And it was good seeing you there and seeing everybody there. So it was really awesome. For the SkullCon people who went, they know this, but for the people who didn't go, the SkullCon run was called Citadel of Kavadar. And the NPCs were amazing. The puzzles were awesome. The combat was so fun. I mean, you really hit it out of the park. So kudos to you and the whole team.
Thank you. Yeah, they did a great job setting it up. Yeah, we decided to, do best job we could with what we had, and we really wanted to surprise people with the quality. I think maybe expectations were maybe a little lower, I hope, but we really wanted to make it fun for everybody. So.
Yeah, my expectations are that it's always going to be fun, and there's usually something really cool, but this was just, everything was just epic. Every room was epic, and that space is just a great space, and it probably contributed to the epicness of it. But yeah,
we had a great crew of NPCs that just knocked it out of the park for that, and it just set the stage for everything. So.
I agree. The NPCs were amazing. I've got a bunch of pictures to go through, so we'll get to some pictures of the NPCs. And for the people who did the SkullCon run, we are now Kavadar Initiates. Can you tell us what that means one more time in case we forgot?
That means you're Initiate of Kavadar.
Okay.
You'll just look it up on the internet.
Okay.
But yeah, just to make sure I don't get anything wrong. But
all right.
Because I might. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully, what the big thing means is, hey, it's time to go on to the next level, which is collect all 5 rings, and then you can come in for your string con and try the next trial.
Yeah, it does imply there's like a beginning of something, which is kind of cool. So it's like there's another main quest, if you will. That's what it feels like.
Sure.
And let's see, in chat, Gilstrife says, woo, SkullCon had a blast, and so did my friend. He said it was really awesome for his first in-person run. Wow, what a great in-person run to be your first.
Okay.
James F. says SkullCon was a blast. Great job to everyone involved. Brian says, yes, SkullCon was awesome. So I agree completely. And besides the SkullCon runs, we also did a patron run, which was called Shyport Sinister. Another great run. Good NPCs. In different costumes and everything. So I really enjoyed that as well. And I'm sure everybody else did. And for the patron run people, this was the physical run, but there's also going to be a virtual run on September 30th. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
We're still working on it, honestly. We've got some ideas, and we're gonna try out something different. We think we're gonna try it anyway, but should be fun. If you played the last year, it'll be comparable to that one. It won't probably be a full super quality one that we normally do, like a 7B or 8B, but the patron runs usually a little tongue in cheek, a little more fun. So we'll see how it goes, but it should be a lot of fun for everybody, and it'll happen right the day before I guess that would be 8, I think. No, 9. Be right before V9B, so it'll be the one day before.
Yeah. So, 9. Yeah. Right. I'm looking at, there's a calendar on the wall over there.
Nice. Always smart.
Yeah, I know. I've got like multiple months. There's a lot of True Dungeoning to do, so you gotta, keep track of everything.
I hear you.
So it's not going to be Shyport Sinister 2, or do we? Nope. Completely different thing.
I think we're going to try to do something different. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, usually the patron runs are, you're right, when people ask me if they've never done it, I say, it's kind of goofy, it's kind of fun. Sometimes the paint is still wet, but it's great. At the SkullCon, that's not what it was.
No,
it was a full thing.
We decided again, because those people came from so far away. We had people coming from another hemisphere to play. So we thought we'd really knock it out of the park on that one. But yeah, like our first patron event ever was just some black curtains that were blown around because there was a huge wind in the convention center, and it was bad. But anyway,
remember.
We only had enough time and people to do something very simple, and it's just a fun little event. So hopefully people will enjoy it. So.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was fun, and it was kind of silly. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you walked us through the whole thing. So, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Walker's Bluff, who I'm sure is watching the show. So thank you, Walker's Bluff.
Yes.
It was awesome. It's a great little place.
They want us back, and they were great. They were really happy. We'll see. Things are a lot different out there now. That road that we all came in on, and that was shut down. You can't even get back there but the casino they're building there next door, and all that's supposed to be open by February at some time. New road, Reed Station Road, that was all getting worked on. You go straight to there, and then it keeps going straight over to Heron Cope Highway, which goes straight to the interstate. So it'll be much easier to get to if we ever come back there.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds cool. And speaking of Walker's Bluff, here's a photo of the tasting room, which was full of true Dungeoneers. I'm not sure if I've ever said that word before, but that just came to mind. So it was full of everybody, and it was so great. It's like, hello, long time no see. How you doing?
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
That was the only bad part about working Epilogue, was that I was stuck there the whole time. So I didn't get to do a lot of mingling, but I did get some in at the beginning. It was fun.
Yeah, it's cool, I think, to have you back there, because it's like a chance to say hello, and you always are so gracious and say thanks for coming. It's a nice connection point. So cool. I appreciate seeing you there. Let's see. So the chat, just a quick, Gilstrife says, if you remember a tall bard with a little green kid's guitar, that was him. Oh, that was your friend. Oh, cool. Mr. Thompson says that he loved the bard. We headbang in room 7. Gilstrife also says, oh, trust me, he's working on a theme song for his bard. That's awesome. So he sounds like he likes to play bard. People love having a bard in the run.
Yeah.
And Brian says, it was funny to see the people in the tasting room that weren't part of TD, and they walked in and looked around with big eyes. Yeah, I did notice a couple of people who weren't true people.
They were like, what the heck? It was nice. It was like sort of like going to Gen Con, because you have the locals come in every once in a while at Gen Con, look around, especially during a Colts game, and it's nice to see the two mingle. Yeah,
it was cool. And David says that he appreciated getting to say hello to you in Epilogue, and I agree. And by the way, everyone in chat, if you have any questions, please put them in chat, and if you don't mind, maybe type the word question dash, then the question, then I can see it with my eyeballs more easily. So I've got a few photos here of True Dungeon headquarters, which might have been the first time for some people. Some of us have seen it in 2017, and others have made pilgrimages in the past. I loved it, as you can see from this photo here. Big smile. So I went to do some transmuting, and one of the things that we could transmute was the orbs. What? And there's a new slot. Oh my God. When did you know that you were going to do a new slot and it was going to be a spirit pet?
So the eldest orb thing, it's been racking my brain for years, because I knew it couldn't be something too cool, because we had told people, it won't be anything too cool. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. Because I had a lot of people afterwards say, hey, if I'd have known you were going to do this, I would have got an AK order. I would have, all this stuff. So I was like, all right, it's just going to be like kind of a cool thing, but not powerful. So probably, to be honest, it's probably, I had several ideas, but by the time I had to decide this like a long time ago, but when tokens were going, but when that last time tokens were around, that whole thing, I had to do it. I had to finally make a decision. I had about 3 or 4 different ideas. So we decided to go with this one. I thought it'd be cool thematically that you could summon this, red dragon spirit once a game to do some fire damage. I know, just as a purist, like, hey, it's not that great, but who knows? Maybe someday, it'll be good to be able to shoot some fire through a grate, or it's not all combat. You might have to shoot fire across the chasm or something, and everybody's gonna go, how are we gonna do that? So anyway, it might happen. So who knows? Hopefully people liked it and have a cool little spirit thing that they can summon once a game.
I think it's awesome. It's a new slot, and we have a pet, and I assume it flies and would count as ranged. So yeah, and it's if I'm not mistaken, that's the 2023 symbol. So we technically have a first 2023 token in hand.
Yep, for sure.
So I think it's really cool. And let's see from the chat. Mr. Timothy has a question. Jeff, how do you feel about the massive quantity of Jeff made me do it envelopes of VTD consumables at Gen Con? There's about to be a bunch. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was going to make an announcement about that. I've been thinking about it a lot. Well, when I first said that, I was naive enough to think there was going to be a Gen Con last year. So, and that there would be an ample opportunity. We'd be maybe at Origins, we'd be at other places. So, yeah, it's 2022 has not been 21, not been the greatest as far as in-person cons. So I guess what I was just gonna say was basically leave it up to your own judgment. We don't want to flood the I wouldn't say market, but flood the players with epic amounts of tokens that are just going to overwhelm them. It'll end up not being fun for them. It'll end up being more of a what is this annoying thing people are doing. So I would say the rest of the ones you should just destroy however you see fit. You want to have a ceremony and pour some Mountain Dew on it, and like all gamers do. And whoa, don't kick that. Then that's fine. Make your own best judgment on what you think should be done with them. But yeah, you should get rid of them somehow. Either donate them, mulch them, or just throw them in the garbage.
Right. One thing that I saw when I first started trading tokens with people is a lot of people, I mean, almost everyone would put in an extra token. And I always thought that was so cool. So I just started to do that automatically as well and just put in an extra token with every trade, which actually is, if anyone is curious, that's where I came up with my Trent Tokens token of appreciation, because I wanted to give a token to everybody for every order that I did. But I thought, well, what if someone gets an order and their token is better than someone else's? I want it to be even. And then I kind of made it a yearly thing because we like to collect tokens. So that's where that came up. Let's see. Let's check in on Gilstrife says, I have 4. Jeff made me do it. Envelopes made. Yeah. And Dave has a question. Any destruction recommendations? I guess he's asking how do we destroy tokens?
I wish you could recycle them. We've looked into it. Just because of the metal core, it's hard to recycle these. It's impossible to recycle these things. So I don't know. I wish I had a good thing to say, but yeah, just come up with some kind of ceremony. The first time I think I destroyed tokens was in 2004 or 5. We had this. It was a long thing. I think it was a special token, and they had to slide. And if they got a 20, they got this special. I think it was Bracers of Defense back then, and it was an ultra rare, ultra rare. I think it was on a silver, if I remember, or platinum. I think it was on platinum, and I only had 3 people that were able to do it. And then the rest I just threw in a trash can right outside the event. They had 20 of them. I was I didn't know what to do with these things. And I'm I don't want to carry them around because I'm afraid I'll lose them or something. So I just threw them right in that little trash can. Right out front, there was these 17 super rare tokens.
That's funny. Yeah, I think I have a couple of those. Grillstrife says he does love the Trent tokens of appreciation, but he likes the thank you notes better. I do like writing the thank you notes, kind of an old-fashioned way to connect with people. The old-fashioned way.
You might not be around. I used to do that all the time as well. I did it for years.
Oh, I've collected things where you wrote notes to people. Yeah,
I used to write a note to all the volunteers, all the big token buyers, but it just got too much. And then I felt like I didn't want to do it for some people, not everybody. So, I used to spend days after Gen Con. Just, you want to tell people you appreciate it and take your time, write neatly, and do it all. And it just got too much. And once we started doing more than one show a year, it was there was always something to do immediately after Gen Con. There was no kind of downtime. So
now, I thought you were talking about the modules. I have some of those where you wrote notes. But I do have. I think you probably stopped doing that after 16, because I think I got one of those notes in 2016, but I don't think we did after 17, which you probably started to get too big with all the places. And speaking of where you do all of the work, what is this building for the people who don't
This
know?
is this is kind of underwhelming. It is tan, so it kind of looks like tavern walls. I picked that color when I built this thing to just say, hey, it's sort of like.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the 8,000 square foot True Dungeon workshop / studio. Yay!
Wow.
That's where that's where I am right now, inside that building, in case anybody wants to deliver a gluten-free pizza. But yeah, we built that. Geez, that was a real scary thing to do back in the day. Geez, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't know. It's all running together. 10 years ago, maybe. And yeah, that was very scary. But it was really a great idea because before that, we were having to drive 20 miles to get to where we were doing a bunch of stuff. So
really,
it saves us a lot of time. And now that we've gone virtual, and now that our sets and stuff have gotten so much more complicated, it's much better to have a local place right here that I can get to. This is literally like 5 minutes from my house. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and then right next door to that is this place.
Yep.
What is this place?
This is my old sign shop, believe it or not. I built this in 2003. Was building it while we were building the first True Dungeon. This lawn you see here was just mud, and
wow.
There was no power. We had to run extension cord from a power pole outside because they were still building it, and we had no so we had no electricity. So we needed a fan because it was like July. But this is a True Dungeon HQ. It's almost 20 years old now, same as the event. But I remember being there in the garage. The garage door wasn't installed yet, but we were in there painting the walls, the spray paint, I made a stencil, and I remember doing all that, and it was a lot of fun.
It's great to visit, these buildings. I feel like it's Mecca.
I wish they were more impressive, but no, we don't put any money to make them look cool. It's all,
it looks cool. Trust me, it looks cool.
Yeah.
So this is the front door to the headquarters.
Yeah.
And one of those big tokens, I have one of those on my wall, and those are really sweet. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Chat says, David says he still has some of those thank you notes from you. And Girls
Cool.
Drive says he saves every single one of the notes.
Nice.
Also at SkullCon was this truck,
Yes.
a soda truck with Bo and Aaliyah. It was so cool of them to drive all the way from Utah. I think the people really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. Did you get a chance to try one of these sodas?
I tried 3 or 4 of them. Everyone I had was great. So it was great. I had my first one was the Chad is not awesome one. Then that was the first one I had. So that one was really good. It was refreshing on a hot day. So,
yeah, it was hot and humid. In case you're curious about the weather,
it wasn't humid. It was.
Oh, that's not humid. Oh, well, it was humid to me.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. All right. Well, then it was just hot then. Speaking of the drinks, there was a contest between Lori, myself, and Chad. Lori made Chad is Not Awesome. I made Trentus the Barbarian. Or came up with the recipes is what I mean. And then Chad came up with Lori is Not Awesome. And, of course, Lori won. Chad is Not Awesome was the winning drink. So that was a fun little side thing. And speaking of Chad, here is Raven, Chad, and Mike in the tasting room planning out, I think, the work that they were going to do for a decade, a meta puzzle that has been going on maybe over a decade. This was the final event, and this was the event. They had to stack these skulls up to a certain point.
They were supposed to take 12 minutes to do this.
Can you explain what's going on here?
There's 3 people being a lot smarter than I am right there. That's what's going on. I thought it would take a little longer, but they got it quick. And they basically, so what happened was there was this long meta puzzle going on, and they had a chance back 3 or 4 years ago to finish it up, but they missed it. Like one of them missed it by like half an hour. They had to be at this pool with the red herring, and they had to drop it in the pool. So we decided to give them another chance, and we came up with this thing. I think Raven was a little disappointed that it wasn't more about the history and stuff, but I wanted something that people could watch and have fun. I was hoping people would give them clues and like, hey, that didn't work, try this. I was hoping this would be more spectator friendly, but now they did it so fast that everybody was like, oh, it's over, what happened? So yeah, I should have made it a little higher. Oh well.
Yeah,
but they had to stack it up high enough to this. I had a red laser level going in, and as long as they got it as high enough and it was stable for a few seconds, then they won.
Yeah, you can see the level, the red laser in the background there. I was actually over near you taping for Chris. Actually, was helping me, put this out live, but the signal was bad, so we recorded it and then published it. But I don't know if you remember. Do you remember what happened after a mere second or two after this moment, once they completed it? Do you know what you did?
I kicked it over in rage.
You kicked it like you were so angry.
I was disappointed in myself. I was just half-acting. I wanted to, you know how you are when you're DM. You kind of play up things to make it more fun. So I tried to make it more fun by looking like I was mad, but it was just play acting. But I was angry. I was angry at myself for coming up with this lame puzzle. So next time,
you have to remember who these three people are. They are the veterans of the veterans.
Veterans.
So, yeah, they nailed it. And speaking of that, if they had failed, we were going to be cursed. And if they succeeded, we were going to have a boon. They succeeded, but both happened. Why? What happened?
I don't know. This crazy thing. So, we made up these curse tokens, and they failed, and I was like, crud. So I happened to, because they were successful, everybody in the whole convention that played the Skull Run got a Ionstone Mystic Orb, which is really cool, and it's themed for Skull Cavadar. That's really neat. If they failed, everybody was going to have a chance to draw one of these cursed tokens out. So, and then when Chad found out that the cursed tokens weren't going to happen, he burned a wish so that it could happen. So it was fun. I think he just did it for me because I was disappointed that I didn't get to show off my 1986 picture with my mullet. And I
know. If you guys aren't, if you didn't notice that, speaking of that, let me do something real quick here.
Enhance.
I'm going to do something here. Give me one quick second.
I should have had that image ready. Oh
well, no, I got it ready. Here we go. We can do this live. Look at that.
Whoa, look at that. You can't really see the mullet, and believe me, it's there and it's glorious. But
let's zoom in just a little more. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but look at that photo of Jeff there. So that's an 80s mullet. Is that what we're looking at?
86 mullet. Or 85, 86, something like that. 86 mullet, I believe. Yes.
Wow. 86 is when I graduated high school. So, I think there was some Billy Ray Cyrus going on back in those days.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chad says, oh, hello, Chad. Chad says, yes, I did. Plus cursed all for not buying my drink. So if you would have won, you wouldn't have cursed us?
That's what happened.
Oh, man. But that was awesome. I love the curse tokens. And actually, speaking of that, the curse tokens, they're for fun. They're not cursed literally. If you want to, you can, accept the curse and do what the curse requires you to do at Gen Con. Is that right?
Yeah, it was just a fun thing. If for some reason it rubs you the wrong way, that's fine. I was thinking most people would just like the fun of it and just the way it would kind of kind of change up their build and change up the experience. It's worse for other classes than others, but I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. That in first edition, when you play first edition, it doesn't really happen that much now. I don't believe in fifth, but first edition, man, about half the magic items you could find would be cursed. So like when you found, that was always the scariest part. It was like, all right, you're like super greedy for magic, but you're also super scared to like try the spear in combat because it might be a backbiter spear. And yeah, so when the cleric got removed curse, that was like I think it was a 5th level. That was the highlight of the venturing party's career, was they could finally get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
wanted
cool.
to kind of capture that feeling a little bit, that you never know when you pull out that thing, it could be a cursed item. So, and of course you didn't want to make them too crazy, and they're voluntary, and I knew a lot of people weren't going to Gen Con, but I thought I needed to make it like a real clear time to do it, and that way it's over.
Yeah, the curse is only at Gen Con, and it's voluntary.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. I think I would have made it mandatory myself, but the mirror one is the one that would really mess me up because I have to put it in one hand, and I use the two-handed weapon, so it completely messes me up. Yeah. So it was fun. Let's see here. We was about to show these, so I've got now some photos of the puzzles and the area of some of these rooms and of the NPCs coming up. Is there anything you'd like to tell us about this awesome chain puzzle, a classic have to work together as a team puzzle?
Yeah, that's what we were trying to do there. I think it worked out well. It was fun making it. I had to design it and get it printed and everything on vinyl material. It was fun to make. Classic 5-sided puzzle table that we like to do, just helps get 10 people around real easy. So I'm glad people had fun with this one. I always try to include one of these if we can, usually near the beginning of the dungeon, just to get people working together. If you made them like every puzzle like this, it'd lose kind of the fun, but at least try to get one in there where it's like everybody physically has to cooperate to kind of get things done.
Yeah, personally, I like at least one puzzle in there where everyone has to do something. I think it's the kind of one of the tenets of True Dungeon: work together as a team and have fun. So I really liked it. And this was another puzzle, but I've got a closer photo. But this shows the very cool room. And the atmosphere.
Underground tunnel. It was an underground tunnel.
Yeah, we were literally underground. So and then here's a close up of this puzzle. This one was a freaky one. Anything you want to share about this one?
It was took a long time to build this because all those pieces are hand placed with spacers and had to be glued down, and that one took a long time to build. But it was fun. I think people really like that one too, because it helped if you work together as a team to kind of remember the different paths that you've already taken to work it out. If you work together, this puzzle should have went pretty fast. You could just try out all the paths and assign people to remember dead ends, and you can work it pretty fast.
Yeah, I think the first time my group did this, it took a while. I don't know if everybody was working together so well at first, but I think the second time we went through a little quicker. And let's see, from the chat we have David says hopefully more curses in the future. Yeah, I think they're very cool. Guilt Drive says keeping my curses tokens. Mr. Timothy says he loves the curses. And unless Nigel Nor, curses were so good. Definitely distracted her while the guy in our party stole the potion. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So speaking of that is this NPC that you're talking about here. Yeah. Yep. So this is a very cool NPC. Here's another shot here. The NPCs, the costumes, their interaction with everybody.
She made that all herself. That's Ashley.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, and her and Tom came up from near San Antonio. They're actually real new to TD. They went to PAX South one year, and then we stopped going there. And then we went back to PAX West. They flew up to Seattle just to be volunteers. She
Wow.
was really great, and she made a costume up there that was amazing. So we're lucky to have them. Her Tom was the Cavadar and the big bad guy at the end of the patron.
I have some photos of him coming up. And here's Brandon as a super powerful monk. Hey, Chihuahua.
Yes. He's a mean guy.
Yeah, he did I guess he was charging for a couple rounds, and then he did a big, stomp or a big punch to the ground that just AoE'd us, and I think it was like 40 damage. It was brutal.
He's a nuts. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't mess with this guy. We call him Great Face. Great Face. Don't mess with Great Face.
Yeah, incredible NPC work from Brandon and everybody there. And then one of my favorite rooms was the dual monks.
Yes.
So here's Tiffany as a fire monk, and then here's Katrina as a cold monk. Am I getting these names right? That's, I assume, what they were?
Yeah, it was just fire and ice. So.
Oh, fire and ice.
I was trying to, I thought that would be like, just one of those things you think about when a lot of martial arts type of. This is supposed to be like a monk monastery. One of the typical, cool things you want to experience is run into a fire and ice monk, from Mortal Kombat and all those other things. So I thought this would be a fun room.
It was awesome, and also they threw down representative pieces of their abilities, and we had to that
was totally their idea too. That was their idea, not mine.
Oh, see,
I wish I was that smart, but no. We've done a few combat board things. We did an ice shield once, but was all their idea.
Yeah, that was cool. And if our group was smarter, I probably would have said or suggested to, maybe the one who is our weakest or lowest, heavy hitter go first and kind of make a path for the heavier hitters. Yep. But yes, when that happened, one of our players threw their thing right through and made a wonderful path. But it's cool because it kind of that particular role was a more weak role because of the thing we had to overcome. So I thought it was awesome. Let's see. So let's see. Ashley says hi. Tom says hi. I'm Tom. So Mr. Timothy is Tom. Oh my God. Well, hello. Yeah. Hello, Tom and Ashley. You guys were amazing.
They're both here. Uh-oh.
Oh, cool,
Hi.
Cool. Hello, Ashley and Tom. You guys were awesome.
They're great. Hope I got their story right.
If not, you could correct the story in chat. Alesh Lore, Nigel Noor says the NPCs were so good. I agree. James F says she was a great NPC. The sticker curses were hilarious. Yeah, that was a nice touch where you could sneak the potion and be cursed. Tom says, love the photos, had a great time. Burnt the Waffle says, glad you love them. Maybe Jeff will let future characters I play curse people. And Alesh Lower, Nigel Noor says, the dialogue between Fire and Ice so good. Oh, that's right. When we first entered, they were just going on, playing with each other and picking at us. Oh, it was good.
Yeah, I wish I could have watched more of the dungeon stuff. I got to watch a little bit, but I was mostly in the back, so... Yeah, I got to watch a little bit, but
every room was a home run room. It rivals the I think the Thor one where the amazing bridge and all the NPCs and all the amazing sets. I mean, this I think rivaled the quality of that. So what a great run this was.
Nice.
And let's see, Gilstrife says, lost to that monk in rock, paper, scissors. David says the NPCs were amazing. Steve Austin, hello Steve, bribed both to not fight, had a great interaction with them. I don't know if you want to hear that, but Steve bribed them with candy. So
that would work. Nobody bribed me.
Yeah, no one bribed you.
Nobody tried.
Tom says Jeff got everything right there in Austin, so not San Antonio, I guess.
All right, sorry.
That was close. But San Antonio, for PAX-7.
It's like Illinois, Chicago, Carbondale, all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same, right? Yeah. Brian says, my party rewarded Fire and Ice with almond M&M, and they were nice to us.
I'll have to remember that.
That is the trick. Yeah. Katrina, in her True Dungeon Talk with Trent interview, mentioned how she loved almond M&Ms, and I think people remembered that, for the next time. Speaking of Tom, here's Tom as Cavador.
Yes, he was waiting on you in the big room.
What a great room this was. There's a big round table, and I was killed, I think, 3 times here. It was awesome. So, and here's another one. Tom, by the way, you have such a commanding presence. Really great for NPC work.
Yeah,
so,
he's a tall dude, and he's really good at the whole body language stuff. So, good.
Yeah, which is really cool. And now you mentioned something with the mask here. Could you talk about that real briefly? Maybe someone else.
Yeah, it was kind of subtle, but I don't know if how many people noticed. You can kind of see it in this photo. There was actually red lights buried in that skull of his. I'm sure Tom will tell you how fun that was. But yeah, there's actually like red fading in and out lights in the brain, just like in a sci-fi thing. He's zooming in. You can kind of see him there. It was really cool. You can see him in the back.
I see him here.
I just don't know how many times you saw it in the back. But anyway, yeah, hopefully some people got a kick out of that.
That's a very cool mask. It's really great. So that was the SkullCon run, and we also did a patron run, and here are a few photos from the patron run. What's going on here? What happened? What's the story of the patron run?
Well, it's actually kind of set back around V5, V6. After V5, they killed the Death Knight or whatever, but there was still some lingering undead that got created because of all the Dark Rift around, and there are other tombs and stuff. So they most of them had been destroyed, but there was one place left that needed to be cleared of undead. So they sent the party in, and they ran into her. I think she scared a lot of people with some startle scares, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, she was hiding in a corner and did some jump scares. That's right. We helped out the captain of the guards, I believe, another great NPC. And there was also a ghost. Actually, was a ghost here.
See, another great costume. Yeah.
Very cool. And here is the final boss. What a setup for the final boss.
Yeah, long walk to doom. Long walk.
It was very, very cool. I mean, look at that. The quality was just through the roof. And then it kind of went downhill at the end. Not sure.
It's a bad volunteer. He'll never be back.
That's good. This guy was the worst. No, look at that great photo of you. It's a good photo.
Yes, thank you for making me look good, I guess. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, the photographer. There was you have a photographer who took all these photos. You want to give a shout out to that photographer?
Yes, I'm trying to remember his. Yeah, his name's Alan, but I'm trying to think of his. He's got a company name he likes to use, and I put it in the credits, but I'm sorry I don't remember that right now. But yeah, Alan's taken photos before since I think the first time was during when we ran the Patrick Roth stuff, and he missed it 1 year. I think he missed 19, but I'm glad he's back, and he'll be at Gen Con this year, and he's going to try to take photos again. So yeah, he's definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, a great photographer and a really nice guy as well. But this was Jeff at the end, where we got our treasure, and then on his right, you can see where we pulled 5 treasure tokens to get a total of 25, and one of my 5 pulls, I had 3 curses. So.
Nice.
Oh boy. So
yeah, it was weird. It was like I was watching random distribution in action, because I'd have a party come through, and the whole party would pull like 5 or 6, and then the next group would come, and the next group would come through, and everybody would get 1. Some people would get 2, some people would get 3. It was stirred really well. It was just crazy randomness.
Yeah, roll of the dice. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So that was all of the SkullCon and Patreon Run photos. It was an amazing event, and if RingCon is even half of this way in the future, everyone must go to RingCon. So collect those rings. Let's move on to the next topic, and if anyone has any questions, please put them in chat. You made a change to the B series.
Yes.
What? What and why?
I was drinking way too much of this stuff, and I said, you know what? I want to do a lot more work. You know how it is when you're DM. You want to make stuff, fun for people, and I know a lot of folks are going to play it again, and I wanted to make something that was just a lot different as much as I could. So I came up with a new story arc, and it's made sense to move this one to the end. So we're going to change quite a bit, especially like at V7. That one's going to have some stuff that'll happen. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And so I'm hoping this way it keeps you guessing. You're going to have like generally a different goal than just, hey, we got to, defeat Barbeard. You're going to have something else to do.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. So there's even more replayability than before when we did the bees in the series.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there'll be some different plot points, and moving stuff around makes things interesting. And we'll actually even be shuffling some rooms around that were previously in one dungeon, will appear in another dungeon. It'll be interesting. Plus a lot of new stuff.
So to make sure it's clear, the numbers and the names are staying the same, but 9 is going to December. So we will play 7, 8, 10, 11, 9 to make sure that's clear for everybody.
Yeah. We thought about a lot of different things, and we decided just to keep it as is, so that because a lot of people go by V9, and then you'll have to ask which V9 are you talking about. So we just kept the names and the numbers the same, just added the B, and hopefully people can understand it this way. It's presented that way in TD.events, so you can see the order that you play them in.
Understood. Okay, and let's see. Let me go to the chat here. Gilstrife has a question for you. What's Jeff's favorite candy? And when I go to RingCon, I'll bribe him.
All right, good idea. Man, my favorite candy. I have a lot of those. Man, I just it's not. I don't think there's a candy I don't like, except for banana flavored stuff. That stuff's nasty. Other than banana flavored, I'll pretty much eat anything.
Well, how about as a kid? Did you have like a favorite, now or later?
I remember I was 3 or 4. We moved when I was 4 from a place called Belvedere, Illinois, up by Rockford, up by Chicago. And so I know how old I was when I did this. I remember getting busted for grabbing a pack of Chuckles. Back then they were a nickel, I remember. Don't ask me why. But I was 3 or 4, and I grabbed them. We were in a local Piggly Wiggly just down the street. And I wasn't stealing them. I just didn't know you had to pay for stuff because it's 3 or 4.
Sure.
So I just, and they're right there at kid level. I remember just reaching out and grabbing it, and my mom found out when I was walking home. She was like, I was eating them? She was like, how did
you were eating them?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now Chuckles. I'm not familiar with that candy.
It's kind of a licorice thing with a bunch of sugar, crystallized sugar put on top. So
okay, so Chuckles maybe to win him over.
Chuckles, the best ever. It led me into a life of crime.
You're right. You're on the FBI's most wanted list now. Okay, so let's see. Gilstrife also says that he hugged the Necromancer for the win. Dave says he hated missing SkullCon, so RingCon is on his agenda. Awesome. Cool. And Gilstrife says, I and my bard are planning to go to the RingCon. Cool, your buddy. Great. Sucks I have to wait till Friday to buy my tickets. Question, we won't get XP for these runs, right? Question mark. Right. If you did A, there's no XP for B, right?
I mean, it'd be really great for us if we did it as far as help selling tickets. It just it would go against what we've done. I know we changed them a little bit, but I don't think it's enough of a change to claim XP. So You know, but yeah, we're just going to stick with our policy of basically not offering double XP.
Yep, that's a long-standing policy for sure.
Yeah.
And David says, love that you're keeping it fresh. Thanks, Jeff. I agree. Good comment, David. Burnt the Waffle says, so bring Jeff all the candy and hope it bribes him. There you go. Just bring a bunch of it. Brian says, so the man that owns the candy store has some good options to bribe Jeff. Oh, so are you saying Brian might own a candy store? Brian says he can bring some chuckles. So there you go. Brian. And Tom says, if I get Cursed Treasure, then Jeff gets banana candy. Only fair.
Yes, that's true.
Well said. Now, speaking of the B series, tickets are on sale now for V7B.
Yep, if you're a patron or a Adventure Guild member. Tomorrow they go on sale for everybody else. Yep, it'll be great. Hope people will decide to give it another shot and play again. I think we're going to make it worth your, it'll be fun. Especially since we're redoing quite a bit of the rooms in the whole story arc and rearranging things. It should be like almost, hopefully, like a new adventure.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I will definitely be playing, in case you're curious. And Gilstrife says it seems fair, to not do the double XP. I agree. It's a kind of a long-standing tradition. In addition to all of the stuff that we were talking about, you're also preparing for Gen Con. What are we looking at here?
Yes, well, by preparing for Gen Con, that means I get to sit at a computer and do all my and design stuff, where the John and Matthew and the crew get to go to the warehouse, do all the hard real work, which is what you see here, getting pallets ready and wrapped and ready to go. It's the Jen and Mike Nagley came down for 3 or 4 days and hung out and helped with that thing too, and helped get our costume room.
That's nice.
Jen did a great job on the costume room. It needed a major overhaul. We had been just piling stuff in there, and we needed to get it organized and we're going to sell some stuff. And so now we're like, I wanted to get the most of the event wrapped before 4th of July, because it's very hot in July around here, and it'd be good to just get most of the stuff done. And plus it was a nice cool week. So we're about 90% wrapped. Still working on some stuff for Ebony Bay. I was working on actually some of the puzzle pieces today, waiting for the event to start here. So I'm real happy with what they've done. They're worked hard, and we won't have to rush, and that gives us more time to do some tweaking. And the guys know what they're doing.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, for people who don't know, how many long tractor trailers does it take to do 3 adventures at Gen Con?
Well, it can vary. The last time we did a full 4 dungeon thing, it was 6 trucks at Gen Con. This year, it looks like it's going to be 3 or 4, hopefully 3. So that's what it's looking like. The one nice thing is Valerian's Feast was designed back in the day to be very small footprint as far as taking a truck, because we had to take it all the way up to Seattle. We needed to fit it in a 26-foot panel truck. So if people have played Weird Magic, it's got some big puzzle prop pieces and lots of crazy set wall pieces that don't stack well, so they take a lot of space to move. But I think we'll get it in 3 this year.
Cool. Yeah, and speaking of the adventures at Gen Con, which is August 4th through 7th, Valerian's Feast, Ebony Bay, and Weird Magic. Ebony Bay will be the new one there, right?
Yes, that's the new one. We'll have some fun with that. More pirate adventure coming in person, finally.
Very, very cool. Let's see. Let me jump to the chat. Fred, hello, Fred. Fred asks, any hints on Mirthwood Pass?
Any hints?
That token. Or what can you tell us?
Nah, I should say anything. I'll probably give it too much away. Just keep them. They'll come in handy eventually.
All right. So now
maybe the people at Gen Con might have a clue as to what to do with one. eventually.
Ooh, there we go.
Maybe.
Burnt the Waffle says, Gen Con, we cannot wait to NPC, brand new costumes, and more drama than ever. Very cool.
Yes.
Thank you for volunteering. In addition, you got so much going on. The after Gen Con is going to be Gamehole Con, where you'll have another chance to do Ebony Bay in case you can't go to Gen Con, and a new adventure, Darkhold Keep.
Spooky. Yeah, it's very spooky, very cool. We've got a fun last room. I can't wait to see that one go off. So
yeah, for Darkhold Keep, you mean?
Yep. Yes.
Very cool. Great. And obviously, tokens to complete these things.
Yes.
Now the tickets for those on. So this is being taped on the 2nd, the 16th. So that's 2 weeks from now. Tickets go on sale. And actually, for VIGs, I think the VIGs already know this. It's on sale now. I think it's maybe started yesterday or today.
Yeah, July 1st. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so yesterday for VIGs. And for the rest of the world, tickets on sale 7/16. And Gamehole Con, if you've never done Gamehole Con, it's an incredible convention. It's like a perfect True Dungeon convention. It's not too big, not too small, and it's the perfect perfect porridge and chair. So I highly recommend Gamehole Con if you've never been. Is there something in particular that you really like about Gamehole Con? What is it that attracted you to Gamehole Con, and what do you like about Gamehole Con?
I like the guy who runs it, Alex. He's a good guy, friend of mine, and he does a great job running it. And you can tell it's not like a business for those guys. It's just a group of gamers, the game holders, that run it just to have fun and give back to the hobby that they've enjoyed over the decades. So that's the best part. You can tell it's put on, to make fun for other folks, not to make a buck. Right. So sometimes I remember going to Gen Con back in the early days. First one was in '82, and it was just a hobby thing back then, and there wasn't really any hint of. I mean, it was a cost for TSR back in the day. So things have gotten a lot more professional. I remember in 1984 when they moved to Milwaukee and they went to a convention center. That's when it kind of changed. And it's cool to go to cons that are, business cons are great because they're very professional and they have everything well planned. Everything's really good and it's worth the money to pay it. It's also good to go to, smaller cons put on by groups just because you just get little tweaks and stuff that people that are really into it will do for you.
Yeah, and another thing that is great about Gamehole Con is the type of people that they attract there. The people who do the workshops and run the different games. I mean, some of these people were there when it all was written, the paintings and the artists, and it's amazing.
The old grognards. Yeah, luckily most of them live around there, and in Wisconsin, so. They're in the old TSR days when they were in Lake Geneva, and they love to come back. I mean, you can play Top Secret with the guy that wrote it, Earl Rasmussen. You can play Ghost Tower of Inverness with Alan Hammock, who wrote it. You can do, I think Steve Jackson was there once to run Car Wars. That would be crazy. And yeah, you can sit down and talk to them while you're having lunch if you want. They're really open. They're really cool about it. So.
Yeah, the game I can't remember, but there's a board game. I think it's called Dungeon. Exclamation point.
Yeah.
So I was sitting down next to the person who invented that. And we were like having a burger together. So it's just amazing. It's a great convention.
Tom Wam, I think, did that one.
Yeah.
I think Tom Wam was the guy that he's actually an SIU grad. He was there. I don't know. I could be getting things confused, but anyway, look that up, somebody.
Somebody look that up. Yeah, it was really amazing. Yeah, Edwin. I didn't grow up playing all these games. I got introduced to all this stuff later in life. So, but Edwin knew everybody. It was like, oh, this guy wrote that. This guy wrote that. He was TSR second employee. He did this painting. He did that game. And Edwin knows everything. Yeah. So go to Gamehole Con with Edwin, and he'll tell you who everybody is.
There you go.
In case you don't know. Let me check the chat one last time before we wrap it up. Let's see. Gilstrife says Sucks Pack South is no more. We would have loved to play those runs.
No kidding.
Yeah, Pack South is nice.
I love that place. I love the people, the volunteers, the players. I think it was the most happy and awe-inspired player base we had.
Really?
They just loved the event, and they were just so happy to play. And volunteers are great. It was just a great place to go, especially middle of winter. It's nice to go south and be able to walk around the river walk in San Antonio. Yeah, I wish they could have kept it around, but maybe someday we'll go to another PAX somewhere and see how it goes, or another Repop convention.
Yeah, it was nice. I liked the hotel, go downstairs, there's a restaurant downstairs, walk out the door, walk around the corner, poof, there it is, go upstairs, and there's True Dungeon. Everything was really close, and the river walk was great. Yeah, so that was a sad one to go. Let's see. Okay, so Gil. So final questions. Shoot them in the chat if you have them. Gilstrife says he met Matthew Lillard and Matt Mercer at Gamehole Con. That's sweet.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, they did a True Dungeon run. I met them. So I didn't know who they were, but everybody said you should go meet that Matt guy. He's cool. So yeah, that was neat.
Awesome. Did they tell you that they enjoyed the run? I assume they did.
Yeah, they said they had a great time. We were actually a couple of years before that at Gen Con, we were trying to work it out where they would actually play it live. Before they got big, they were wanting to do it, and we just couldn't work it out with the internet down there. It wasn't going to happen. So but that was a shame. It would have been cool.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe I'll try to help coordinate one of those one day. Fred
says,
I
think they're too big now. I think they're way too big now.
Not with them, but, other cool people. They might be too big for us now. Fred says the Gamehole gaming room at the restaurant/bar is worth visiting. I agree. They have a copy of every module and book written by TSR, as well as cool decorations and a great gaming table. Everything Fred said is true. I assume you've been to the Gamehole Con, Game
yeah. Yep. Yeah, the tables from Ed Greenwood. I think it's Ed Greenwood's one before he moved. And then, he's got a lot of great memorabilia, but he's got everything made. This is all Alex's private collection. He's a big collector, and, it's amazing to look at. And plus, there's a really nice bar downstairs and restaurant. So.
Yeah, it is a really great place. So if you go, you got to visit.
Alex is my hero. He's like, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to get a game room. I'm going to put it upstairs in a bar tavern so they can bring me drink and food as needed. That's awesome. I didn't think of that. What the heck? What am I doing?
Yeah, no, he might be living the dream. I'm with you there. Okay. All right, so a couple more questions, then we'll wrap this up. David says, question, 23 tokens still on schedule for December/January. 2023 tokens, I guess he means.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the port problems are vanished. So there could still be COVID issues that could crop up in China, but right now things seem to be going well there. There won't be. We got super lucky last year. I don't know how we did it, but somehow we dodged like a 3-month delay at the docks. Wow. Our container got unloaded and on a train faster than it ever did before, so we got super lucky. Everything should be fine unless some big COVID thing happens, in China. We should get them up.
The 2022 tokens were ridiculous. It was just like poof, here they are. So that how quick they came.
They were calling me and I was laughing at them because they were like, hey, we need payment for the rail car, and I was like, what are you talking about? It's going to be months. You guys are jumping the gun.
Right.
And I was, he's like, no, it's on a train. It's headed your way. So I was like, really?
Yeah.
So
well, maybe it happened again.
Yeah. You can actually track the vessel. There's on the internet now, you can track any, if you know the name of the vessel, you can track it. So I had been tracking it, and it was out in, I think they call it, I forgot it, when they just Anchorage, I think, and I didn't even know it was on a dock yet. So I'd stopped watching it, and it got to the dock, unloaded immediately, didn't wait like 3 days, and then usually it's like weeks once they unload to get it on a train. But this went right from the ship right onto a train out the door. There must have been something on that train going to St. Louis. Maybe
something more important, right?
McDonnell Douglas. Maybe it was like McDonnell Douglas, and they had some military contracts or something. They had some raw material. That's the only thing I could think of. Somehow, some way, we got expedited. It's just been lucky. So.
Well, there are some very cool tokens coming out next year, so I think people will love to see them as soon as they get here. Ashton says, hello, Ashton. Ashton says, the last PAX South was my first and last in-person TD run so far. Finally came to a place I could manage. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Tom says they started at PAX South, wouldn't be into TD or even D&D otherwise. Wow. Isn't that amazing how these little decisions could change everything?
Yeah, if we hadn't never gone, we wouldn't have got two awesome NPCs. So, it's why I'm always like, well, let's go to as many cons as we can. Who knows who we're going to meet? So
I think people who run through and have that volunteer blood, after they see it, they think, I got to help. This is awesome. I want to do this. So I think you're right. The more you can do, the great. You really get the cream of the crop of the volunteers. Chad says, just got my ticket for a Gamehole Con Trent Tokens reception. So yes, that's right. More news will be coming in the future, but I sponsor Gamehole Con. I'm one of the sponsors of the Gamehole Con, and I also sponsor the Friday night reception. It's a free beer event, and you don't need tickets to do it, but if you log in, you can reserve a ticket or buy select a ticket, which means it puts it on your calendar, and then we'll know how many people are coming. So there you go. Mr. Tom says, love the reception. Thanks, Trent. You're welcome. Enjoy the free beer. Burnt the Waffle says, Jeff, you're gonna make me cry. We love NPC in 2. Don't make him cry. Why are you doing that? David Gerspart says, Saturday night this year. My reception is Friday night. So if it says Saturday, that's a mistake. David. All right, so there you go. That is the show. Jeff Martin, thank you so much
for having me.
It's a pleasure. We went through tons of photos. The best one was probably, let me just show this, the best one really quick. The mullet.
That one.
This is probably the best one of the event of the day. So if you didn't notice that, grab the Curse Mirror of Pride, and you can see Jeff right there. I noticed that and thought it was so silly. And so, so they say...
Speaking of 1986, as soon as I'm done here, we're going to go watch the final episode of Stranger Things, Season 4. So
cool. So there's a plug.
At the bit. Yeah, it's cool. I'm going to get out my DMG. I mentioned it last night and show her the description of Vecna, the hand of Vecna, the eye of Vecna, the sword of Kos, and she was like in awe. So I think maybe the first time this year, she actually thought I wasn't like a lame dad. So
that won't last long. Enjoy it while you can.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so people are saying that it is Saturday. I'll check with Gamehole and get that fixed because it should be Friday. David says, thanks, Trent and Jeff. Ashton says, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Mr. Trent. Oh, that was my dad. For doing these interviews. Looking forward to seeing you all in person again soon. So there we are. Thank you again, Jeff. Please give my love to the family. And thank you again for doing an incredible job, to you and all the volunteers at SkullCon and the Patron Run. It was just 100 home runs. I mean, it's a perfect convention. Thank you so much.
Those guys, they worked hard on it. Go enjoy your second helping of ribs.
Yeah, I will. All right, thank you, Jeff. Bye for now. See you next time.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
All right, there you go. That was Jeff Martin, the creator of True Dungeon, an incredible guy. And again, SkullCon Patron runs were amazing. start collecting those rings so you can go to RingCon. And you saw the information about the upcoming Gen Con, V7B, and also Gamehole Con. And thank you everyone in the chat for watching live, and thank you for the great questions. And don't forget to do that algorithm stuff, the clicking, liking, and subscribing and sharing, etc., to help get the word out about the show and also about True Dungeon, because it's an amazing community, and I would just love to bring more people in to enjoy this amazing thing known as True Dungeon. And like I always like to say, remember, it's really difficult to frown when you're smiling, so please smile.